Like someone said one time in the swamp, it ain't easy being green. Swamp Thing gets canceled after one episode. Stay tuned to find out. So yes, after one episode, the Swamp Thing gets canceled. Sadly, we just did our first episode review on it, and we thought great start to what could be a really good comic book based TV show. Unlike what CW has given us, sadly, it's just been reported that Swamp Thing gets canceled now. What's very interesting about this is it's multiple stories and there's not quite a concrete answer. Now, there's the whole ordeal with the tax issue, but we'll jump to that a little bit later. Now, I remember when I was doing research for the video, I came across sort of some off-putting news that kind of let me know Swamp Thing was maybe in a little bit trouble down the road. It seems that the series was actually supposed to be 13 episodes, but it was actually cut down to 10 episodes because there was a dispute amongst production companies or some sort of thing like that, and so it wound up just being cut. Not quite sure if that's going to affect the show overall when we get to the end of the season. And then we got hit with this news today, which is a little confusing because no one's kind of telling the truth in this situation. Now I'm going to try to break it down as best as I can, but I will have an article down in the description box that will explain it more detailed. So basically, if you did not know already, when production companies go to places like, for instance, The Walking Dead films in Atlanta, they obviously get a tax break on that. So they make money or they save money, and also they probably work in some kind of cut on tourism and tours and all sorts of stuff that they get obviously money for filming in certain states. Now, the Swamp Thing is filmed in North Carolina, and supposedly what I'm reading is Warner Brothers, or at least some of the production companies under Warner Brothers, thought they were going to receive something like a $40 million tax break. Now, if you've seen the Swamp Thing, you would know the show is not cheap. It looks just like a high quality movie. It's shot, it's got good effects, good actors, good setting. So it's not a cheap show. And they were thinking, I assume that they were thinking that 40 million was going to be at least helping out on the cost of the show. But as it stands today, the guy, and his name is like Guy Grazer or Guy Gazer from North Carolina, he stated that they were not supposed to receive 40 million. He doesn't know where they got that number from. They were actually only going to get something like 12 million for filming the show in North Carolina. So there's sort of a disagreement back and forth, and some people are citing that that's the reason why it's being canceled. Even though most people have raved about the series, at least from the first episode going forward, we were all on board for signing up for the DC streaming platform for watching the show. And as well as you see, Doom Patrol doesn't have these problems. So kind of interesting. I'm not quite sure how this plays into the future, especially with James Wan being executive producer on this project and being that he's supposed to direct Aquaman 2, and sort of he's the bigger name that is leading the DCU going forward with their film franchise. So it's kind of a lot of moving parts and not a lot of whole details. Episode 2 is up, and the rest of the episodes will air, but after that, there's no more Swamp Thing. So no word on if this is going to be a complete, like, just one series show. So it could be picked up by another company. It could be picked up by Hulu, maybe Netflix, maybe another streaming platform or another network like FX or something. I just don't see that happening with this series. Now, I did read an article on a website, and I'll link it down below. I totally disagree with this, but they were stating about how maybe CW would rescue this show. I don't see that happening, because if you look at the higher quality of what CW gives us with their DCU shows, it's not even comparison to what Swamp Thing is, as far as the budget, as far as the look, as far as the acting. It's like, it's like day and night between the two. And I don't see CW taking this kind of show with that higher quality. They're going to dumb it down. They're going to make it less horror, or at least not as graphic as it was or is. And they're going to make it more of a PG-13 type show. I just don't see that happening. And I just wouldn't agree with that overall decision, even though it would give us more Swamp Thing. I'm just not keen on that. So that's as far as we know. Swamp Thing is canceled, but it's still going to continue. So it's kind of weird. It's like being roommates with your ex-girlfriend, but she's continuing to date other people and bring them over, and you're just sitting there watching it happen. Yeah, that is it. Until we know more details on this fiasco of a story. I just woke up to seeing this, so kind of sucks. But I'm eager to watch episode 2 and the rest of the episodes going forward. What do you guys think about this whole ordeal? Are you kind of mad? Are you sad? Did you not care about the Swamp Thing, or were you excited for the series going forward? Leave it down in the comment section. As well, leave this video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and I will see you guys on another video very, very soon. It is also time for YouTube shout out time, so stay tuned for that. Have you ever thought about traveling to Japan? Well, I have a TV. Let me try to do that over again. Have you ever thought about traveling to the exotic land of Japan? Well, I have a channel just for you. It is You Can Do It, where we have our YouTuber Scott Yukin, who lives over in Japan. He provides the further adventures over there as he talks about Godzilla, caves, Mothra, dangerous Japanese arcades, just all sorts of stuff. Tokyo Disney, Universal Studios Japan, all that type of stuff that you would find in Japan, he brings to us. So it's really great content, because obviously I'm living in Florida, so it's kind of cool to see someone over another almost different kind of world almost aspect, and to see how things are over there. He brings us adventures. He just went to ice cave in the Suicide Forest. He talked about Godzilla. He was at Disneyland over in Tokyo. So if any of that sounds very interesting, then I don't see how it wouldn't. Definitely check out his channel. Links will be down in the description box below. That is You Can Do It, the further adventures in Japan.